would like to make certain things clear. We don't want to get bogged down with philosophy, religion, or politics with me. I'm a little bit different. Not better than you, not worse, but different. And this is something that we have not yet treated. The difference in each individual. Because of my difference, I made a difference in the Supreme Court of New York. But that difference have caused me a lot of trouble. I was not raised with a father. I never had a dictate from a male. I refused the dictate of a male. Don't blame me. That's the way I was raised. I was 14 years of age. I stole the money from the church. That is the God in heaven truth. You see, I have to talk about the truth, right? Yeah. And since I am different, I see things differently. I'm not spiritual. I'm not religious. I'm not anything. Because I don't believe in anything. But in that vernacular of living, in that particular space, I was able to think about my grandmother that raised me, who was a member of the UNIA. I was only 8 years of age, so I'm 80 years of age next year. I'm an old man. So I've been hearing Marcus Garvey all my life. And when I went to Africa, I had a chance to sit with the president, Confronting, and he asked me, who was my hero? I said, my mama, and only my mama. Is there a second? I said, Marcus Garvey. Why? Because I was always living in the world that is pragmatic. If you talk, and in your talk, there is something physical in it that would enhance life, I don't want to hear it. Why should I? After all, I'm an African, isn't it? I'm an African. And in the jungles of Africa, we didn't have anything that was acid, everything was alkali. But today, I have to be educated to understand that which is alkali, that which is acid. Well, as I journeyed through life, I became a merchant seaman, I became an engineer. Then I began to delve into the earth because I was sick. And lo and behold, one day a blind man was seeing. A little child no longer had sickle cell anemia. Another one had AIDS, no longer have AIDS. Well, I thought it was the best thing to do was to go and publicize this with the help of my mother. She was the one that encouraged me to put the ad in the papers. Well, I did. But I found out that I was wrong. You see, I am the mistake. I am the big mistake. Mistake how? Because when I was an engineer, I was hearing things such as science. Science is for the purpose of improving and the betterment of life, to improve the state of life. Well, I decided to go into biochemistry. I didn't go to school. I have never been to school in my life. I have never read a book in my life except those on herbology. And when I read those, every one of them was loaded with inconsistencies. So I threw the books away. I was once a Christian. They fed me pork. I was once a Muslim. They fed me lamb, which was 10,000 times worse than pork. So I understood, I am the result of what? Injury. Injury caused by what? Religion. Religion. So therefore, I am not religious. I am your brother.
That's right.
Being what I am, I was able to find the way to heal people, especially you. I found out that all the healers in New York had a meeting against me, only because I was talking against the things that they was in favor of. One of them was carrots. When I talk about carrots in New York, everybody jumped on me. had to. After all the information we have on healing came from where? Europe. Every bit of it. Every piece of information that we have ever gathered in reference to healing is a European one. Well, I decided to just make a little exit from the European way and look at things differently.
That's right.
What happened? The diseases that we have cured since 1984, no one has ever cured them since. But the mistake I made, I thought that I would be in favor of the leaders of America. The only leader in America that have come to my aid, he's sitting right here, hey. Single. Hey. Well, until recently, the government of the Bahamas said, come on. Well, they gave me a whole island to work with.
That's
I'm
right.
working in the Bahamas now. But I want to spend more time with you. But I have a baby. A baby was born to me a year ago, which I got a call today that her mom is pregnant again.
Okay.
And I have to run back.
Okay.
I have to go back because they're waiting for me. And I told Chuck that I wanted to be here at least a few days because there are many people here that I know. But let me begin now. Because I have a very short time here to talk to you. The one thing that was never explained fully, the difference of the black man with everybody else. Talk about, but it was never treated. When I went before the Supreme Court, you know I was arrested, right? I asked the question, Your Honor, is it a fact that in creation you find that there are things that are placed in different geographical locations with a food? She said, example, I said you would not find a gorilla in Alaska or a polar bear in Africa. That you would not find. Along with the geography, there is a food. The gorilla does not eat polar bear food. But the gorilla, that female gorilla, doesn't take her cubs to be trained by a polar bear. And who trained us?
The polar bear.
All of the books that has been written by whom? The Caucasian. Why do we need the books? I don't know. I never read one. I never will read any. But in not reading books, I had to extrapolate whatever I know from a different set of rules. Nature itself. When I look at Mother Nature, I say, well, since gorillas do not eat polar bear food, what are our food? What is our food? That makes a big difference. The FDA told the Supreme Court that they didn't want me to distribute my products. I told the judge, the FDA is right, 100%. I should not distribute my products. The judge said, why do you agree with them? I said, because I agree with the devil. I agree with everyone. In fact, I love the devil.
That's right.
So the judge said, you agree with the devil? I have to. God made it. Everything God made is good. Am I right? Yeah. But may I ask the FDA a question? Is there such thing as gene food consistency? The judge said, what is that? I repeated, gorillas do not eat polar bear food. But the FDA should know what the food of the black man really is. So she turned to the FDA. The FDA didn't know. How would they know?
They're not the black man.
They were not interested in our diet. They were interested in our shoulders. So here I am, before you, your brother, that isn't spiritual. He doesn't have a soul. He doesn't have a mind. He doesn't have anything. But I hear these things from you. Like today when I was coming up, I heard somebody said, what about my protein? Protein? Well, protein was brought to me in Washington, D.C. by Dr. Steinberg at the Georgetown Pediatric Hospital. Because there was a little girl by the name of Akita Stroud that lived in this city today. She had sickle cell anemia. And I removed everything that constituted protein. Dr. Steinberg said, "You didn't give Akita Stroud any protein." I said, "What is that?" What is protein? One of the 19 amino acids. Are they electrical? I don't know. He said, "But you should know, because your premise rests on protein, and you don't know whether it is electrical." My body is electrical. And if protein isn't electrical, how is it going to assimilate? How is it going to nourish me? A dead substance nourishing an electric body? Does that make sense? Does it make any sense? Dr. Steinberg, I am compelled to ask you another question. What is sickle cell anemia? Sickle cell anemia is a disease that was given to black people 10,000 years ago because your blood went through mutation. I said, "I'm confused." She said, "Why?" "Because there's a brother of ours that goes around the world saying that God gave us sickle cell to fight malaria. His name is Dick Gregory. You tells me it is mutation." But Dr. Steinberg, let me say this. It's neither God nor mutation. It is the deprivation of iron fluoride. And this is what all of us in this room, including myself, and I may be the sickest. Why? We've been starved for 500 years. You have not given the black man in America the food that was consistent with his cellular predisposition. What are we eating and how are we behaving? Are we behaving properly? Well, I'll tell you what. Michael Jackson made a mistake and took me to the White House for what? I don't know. Because I know that the people that were there weren't going to help me. That I knew. Because, in fact, I don't need anybody's help. The entity needs the help, not me. I'm satisfied with being me the way I am. No one, never did that. Look,
That's right.
I was working ever since I was 10 years of age. I never been to school. Had to take care of a family. So while I'm in Washington, Mr. Jackson, Michael went to the mic and told the 17 African ambassadors, "I have a present for you." I didn't know what the present was going to be until a month ago. Who was present? 17 African ambassadors, Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas, John Conyers from Michigan, and Leonard Mohammed from the Nation of Islam, and Mr. Jesse Jackson Jr. from the House of Appropriation. Mr. Bush had appropriated $5 billion to fight AIDS. Mr. Jesse Jackson was a member of that house. And I showed him proof. Here is the proof. Right in this book, you have diagnostic sheets that people was cured of AIDS. Why didn't he tell us? Why didn't he tell you? Why did his dad didn't tell you? Well, that convinced me that I was in the wrong time, in the wrong place. I took my money with my wife, Batum. We go to South Africa under the leadership of Mr. Mandela. Well, before I got to South Africa, the president of Guinea told me something that maybe you guys doesn't know about it, but he said, "Dr. Sebi, are you sure you want to go to South Africa?" I said, "Well, I have to go to every African country." He said, "Well, let me just tell you something. Mandela had to sign an agreement that coming out of jail, he would never see Winnie again. You want to go there?" I said, "What do you say, Mr. Conti? Mandela would not have gotten out of jail if he was to see his wife again." Decided to go to Zimbabwe under the leadership of Mr. Robert Mugabe. They told me, "Get out." Thank you. So I betrayed it, understanding that the reason why I'm rejected all the time, and maybe tonight, is for a good reason. Imagine that we are eating the food that undermines our health, of a thinking pattern? No, I stand before you tonight making these claims. Yes, I cure AIDS. Yes, I cure sickle cell. Why? It's all in this book, could be proven diagnostically from accredited medical schools. What's wrong now? Well, I went to Germany. I went to Munich, invited. We want you to come to Germany to explain to us how you does these things. Well, we don't want to hear voodoo. They told me that. No, but the German was right, because we believe in voodoo.
That's right.
Every black person in my country believes in voodoo. We do not want historical or empirical. We want scientific. Well, I go to the black world and I did it. Well, they couldn't argue against it. When I was true, they said, who's supposed to help you? I said, the world. No, he said. The world. Brett Howard said, the world doesn't cure AIDS. A black man does. Who's supposed to help you? I said, are you making an inference that it should be my people? Well, who else? You're a black man. Why would you look for the help of a German or a Japanese? I said, but I can't look for the help of my people. I said, why? Because they've been compromised. All of them. We have been compromised. How could they help me? So if AIDS needs the help of the black race, AIDS just died. And Africa is dead. Every country I visited in Africa, 34 of them, they all eat starch and blood. Is that the diet of the black man? Starch and blood? Well, yes it is. When you ask an African, why do you eat cassava? Well, it is the tradition of my people. Tradition opposed to culture. Tradition overrides culture. Cassava is European. Black-eyed peas is European. Carrots are European. So when we celebrate Kwanzaa, all we have to do is buy a pair of Dutch shoes, because everything in Kwanzaa is Dutch. The black-eyed peas you eat, the chicken you eat, the sweet potatoes, all is Dutch. The clothes you wear, made in Harlem, is Dutch. Do you see what they get us going and coming?
That's right.
So I decided to retreat. I had to. It's been 40 years. I have a new family, new babies. One is coming on the way. I'm satisfied. But tonight, Mr. Chuck Banks knows the mother of the babies. I said, Chuck, you invited me to Atlanta? He said, yes. I said, Chuck, you know, I don't want to make it a more personal appearance because it isn't working. Something is wrong with me. Something has to be wrong with me. And I know it. Because I'm never able to communicate exactly what I want to communicate. I can do things. I built a village. I made the African BioMineral balance, which is recorded in the Supreme Court as the only therapeutical approach to pathology that is complementary.
That's right.
In lieu of what the brothers were telling me. Do you know that the very day that I was going to fight the Supreme Court, brothers and sisters in New York told me that I shouldn't do that because I was going up against the big boys. Now, I'm the boy that didn't go to school. I know these boys in the Supreme Court wasn't prepared for that.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Pace told me, you know, they're the big boys. I said, Lorenzo, the biggest testicles that I've ever seen hang on a person, they hang on my mama. My mama have the biggest testicles in the world. And if I survive them, they are less. So So when I went before the Supreme Court to prove for you that the black race has something to offer, we have risen above that doubt, that space that kept us. Every heel in America was telling me, you're making noise. You're jeopardizing our position. I said, but what about my mama? What about my mama? There's the Ayurvedic system of medicine, Indian. There's the macrobiotic, Japanese. There's the yin-yang, Chinese. There's the homeopathic and allopathic, European. But where's my mama? Anybody say about my mama? My mama doesn't deserve representation. When I gave her one, the African BioMineral balance. When I mentioned the African BioMineral balance, Dr. Victor Herbert said, I've never heard of such a thing. I say, Your Honor, he's right. Dr. Victor Herbert has not heard of a whole lot of other things. And that the African BioMineral balance only happened to be one of those things that he doesn't know about. The judge said, what is the African BioMineral balance? Would you like for me to explain? She said, yes. I'm going to explain it on two levels. Number one, the African BioMineral balance negates the position that there are multiple diseases. There's only one. One disease alone. Dr. Victor Herbert jumped up and said that I was insane and unscientific. I said, Your Honor, he's right again. I am being unscientific. But if science has to be the barometer that we're going to use to measure disease and to reverse it, science already have 500 years, they have not cured one. So it behooves us to look outside of science. And that is what I come with. The naked woman in the jungles of Africa. That's my mama. That's the one that all the religious groups in America said that she was a savage. Islam says she's a savage. Christianity says she's a savage. But you know what I see? Well, listen to this. I was in Rio de Janeiro 3 months ago. And there's a gathering tonight with a Mexican, a Frenchman, a white man, and myself. The Mexican was talking about the Mexican agave and his tequila. The Frenchman told the Mexican, shut up. We made champagne in France. The white boy said, well, I have something to say about America. The Mexican told the white boy, you don't have to say anything. The white boy said, why? He asked, well, everything in America is the best that they ever been. You don't have to say anything. Sebi, what you have to say about your people? I said, well, I have a few things. The white boy said to me, you better watch it. I said, why? Because you see, your people didn't have any clothes on 500 years ago. I said, Mladenov, his name is Mladenov. I said, Mladenov, you're absolutely right. My mama didn't have any clothes on. Neither was my daddy. But you're going to stop there? In the line of benchmarks, she didn't have any clothes on. She didn't have any hospitals. She didn't have any doctors. She didn't have any prostitution. She didn't have any alcohol. She did not have any religion. There's any religion, there isn't a religion that came out of Africa. You know why? We didn't need it. We were righteous people then, we're righteous people now. We don't need religion. Let me repeat this. Let me say this. 1989, in New York, there was a big meeting. The Afro-American War on AIDS. So I'm home in my little cubby hole in Brooklyn, These women called me and said, Sebi, you got to go to this meeting. I said, you out of your mind. Why am I supposed to go there? Because everybody's against me. Dr. Barbara Justice, Dr. Prince, Dr. Love, Dr. Everybody. And you want me to go there? Yes, we do. Me and my stupid self, I jumped in the limousine, I got to the Harlem State Building, and they were talking about AIDS. They were talking how you should make the AIDS patient comfortable until he dies. And when the man was about to sit down, I jumped up. The man is right. The brother is right. Well, they were shocked. What the hell is this nigga here? I said, but we have the answer. We cure AIDS. But all the white folks that was in the room looked at me. And guess who responded? The black woman, Dr. Barbara Justice. She said, you shut your mouth. But she had to. After all, who made her? She's not the product of Africa. Okay? She said, Dr. Ali Muhammad is coming from Washington to give us a very important message on AIDS. I said, what is that message? That AIDS killed black people. I said, we are totally oblivious to that. We need Dr. Ali to come from Washington to tell us that AIDS killed black people. Lady, you didn't hear me. I cure AIDS. What happened? Nothing. And nothing's going to happen, not because we're not going to do anything about it. So I am kept in an incubator and also bracketed. But when I went to the Bahamas, I found something in the Bahamas that you do not find in America. When I went to the Bahamas to speak, I told my wife, I don't want to go there because there's so many little people there. 2,000 people came. I said, oh my God. Then the government sent me a letter. Oh no. But you know what they have? Or what they don't have? Is a leader that makes the difference. They don't have any leaders in the Bahamas. They have a president. We have a president and a whole bunch of leaders. So if what I say, or what they don't have, is a leader that makes the difference. They don't have any leaders in the Bahamas. They have a president. We have a president and a whole bunch of leaders. So if what I say, the leader doesn't accept, you will never hear it. So when I left Washington, D.C., the Rayburn Building, Capitol Hill with Michael Jackson, I went to Mr. Jesse Jackson, Jr. I said, sir, are you going to tell the black people of the world that there was a cure for AIDS? I doubt it. And I walk away. Did he tell you? No! He didn't. He wasn't supposed to tell you guys anything. Why should he? Wouldn't that undermine the position of himself and his daddy? You see, we are accustomed to following leaders. Why? I don't know. When I came home, my mom was vagina, that was it. For me, to compromise myself, I couldn't do it. So here I am now, at 80 years of age next year, with babies coming our way. Having to talk about this again, and I don't like this. I do not like coming in front of you, because I'm not better than you. I'm not smarter than you. I am not smart, I am not intelligent, I am not a man. I want you to remember that Dr. Sebi said that he is not a man. Because if you ask him what is that, I don't know. By gender, I'm a male, all right? What makes me a man? I don't know, and I don't want to hear it. So you got someone in front of you that loves the devil, that isn't a man, but curates. So what do we do now? What are we going to do now? Are we going to take this entity and put it towards the world? We, the black race, curates, not Dr. Sebi. Am I not your brother? Yes. Am I not the sum total of you standing here? Yes. So why do you say, he curates, not us? We curate. That's the breakdown. The German told me that the only people that could help me would be you, but you cannot help me. So what I did, I galvanized a group of women, which is 10. They took over the business. I'm here talking to you tonight, but I don't think anybody is going to hear me talking first again, because I don't do this anymore.
That's right.
It isn't necessary. You don't need to be talked to. What I have in my head, you got more and better. But yes, brothers and sisters, you've been here a long time tonight, and I don't want to hold you up anymore, because talking and talking and talking and talking, and there's no production.
That's right.
But before I end, we have a village that we just remodeled, a very beautiful village. People go there from all over the world. One that I designed to represent Africa, meaning clean. Clean, I mean clean. And the offering, unequaled. We prevailed over the position. We no longer have to be afraid. Yes, it's on the internet, eye curates and other diseases. They cannot stop that now, isn't it?
No.
So what are we going to do?
Move forward.
Lay back on it and say, well, he curates. No big thing. Well, to me, it doesn't hurt. It hurts only because I'm interested in you. So when I go home to my glass house, I just built a glass house, you know. I built it for my wife now because she wanted a glass house.
That's right.
So I live in a glass house, quite comfortable. But am I comfortable when I think of you? Knowing the situation, that there aren't anybody out there that's interested in your health. There aren't any government. There aren't any leaders except these that are interested in you.
Hey.
I mean, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Alton Mason, Maddox. Well, let me say this about Alton Maddox. I was in California, and he was on the radio talking from New York, and somebody asked him, do you know Dr. Sebi? He said, of course I know Dr. Sebi. I'm on the line now. I'm on the telephone. He doesn't know it. I supported Dr. Sebi. He's a liar. I said, I'm Dr. Sebi speaking to you, brother. How did you support me? I was sitting in the audience. I said, that's the support. You see? All these people that we depend on, I didn't. From a little boy. Remember, I didn't go to school. And I don't read anybody's book. Because that is adulteration. That's like a gorilla taking her cubs to be trained by polar bears. I'm not a European. I could see. I'm like the Maya. I'm like the ancient blacks that didn't need the school. Why do we need it now? What are we doing with it? In fact, when my mama was naked in the forest, they were doing quite well. Why can't we go back to that? Oh no, our body doesn't look too good. We got these big bellies now. We got tubers hanging off of us. It looks kind of funny. Telling us that we should look back again to Mama. Mama always has been the answer. Do not know? You are the last audience in front of my eyes. Thank you very much.